Hello and good evening and welcome to another episode of Build Paint Play. I'm Dave.
And I'm Jake, and today we have a special guest.
That way, that direction.
Hey everyone, I'm Rhys from MyMiniFactory.
Excellent. Welcome, Rhys. Thanks for joining us. I would just let everybody know that it is currently just gone midnight in the UK where Rhys is. So,
it is, yeah.
Thank you very much for staying up super late. And Rhys has already told me he's taken a couple of days off to recover. So,
wow, I appreciate that.
Yep.
Well, it kind of just worked out. Let's be truthful.
Sure. Okay. It was just advantageous for us.
Yeah.
No, super cool. I'm very happy that you were able to join us. I am just going to mess around with this. There we go. We'll switch that over there. Is that going to work? Let me see how that looks on the YouTubes. Yeah, that should be okay.
This is our sponsor.
Our sponsor, the Army Painter. Yes. So first up, how are you doing, Jake?
I'm good.
Excellent. Is it snowing in Boston?
Being a weatherman in New England is like being a witch. Like your powers are weak, old man. Like so all last night, like all this week, it's been lots of like, there's this band of snow, and you guys are gonna get probably between like 8 and 12 inches, and then it was like between 6 and 9. So my wife works in the city in Boston proper, and they canceled her work, and they told all the kids not to come to school. They canceled like every public school around here. It was a joke. Like we got 2.5 inches of slush where my store is, which is basically 20 minutes north of here. It was snowing when I got to work. Nothing accumulated, and by the time I left, it looks like it rained hours ago. Like the concrete is just wet in a couple spots. There's nothing on the ground. So again, Mother Nature in New England 1, weatherman 0.
Right. Fantastic. Excellent. So yes, as we mentioned before, Rhys is the community. Well, we mentioned you from MyMiniFactory. You're the community manager for MyMiniFactory.
Yep, I am the community manager. Yes, for whatever that is.
Right. Well, I'm gonna say it's basically you're you're bringing a whole bunch of different people together, really, aren't you?
Yeah, it's kind of I'm kind of a facilitator. I mean, part of my role is is talking to influencers in regard to doing promotion for MyMiniFactory as a whole, or for specific creators. So that's one of my roles. But yeah, I also do account management for some of our the top 5 of our accounts. I go to shows. I represent I like visit shows, and I also attend shows on stands. I do a lot of the event planning for the stands as well, and like down to the admin. I book flights and hotels. So yeah, basically, she's cook and bottle washer.
Excellent. All sorts of different stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. We'll dive into a lot more of that and a whole bunch of the sort of in-depth stuff coming up in the show. First off, we'll jump into the chat. We'll say hi to Scott, hi to Matt, Josh, Dave Hummel's here. Oh, right from the start. Nice to see you, Dave. And Josh is here as well from Crown of Command. Excellent. Morning.
And for those of you at home, the reason why we sound different is I am from New England. He is from Old England. Like it's
I'm from real England.
It's similar, but they're different.
And I'm from the deep south of England.
Yeah. Really old England.
Really, yes. Fantastic. Patrick Keith is here, and Patrick Milan is here. Howdy. Fantastic. Scott says, let's have the best show ever. Give it your all, boys. We will try, Scott. We will try very hard. We've got lots of cool stuff to look at and things to talk about. So first up, I'm going to share something. It's going to be part of my screen. That's what I'm going to do.
I believe you.
That's how this works. Here we go. So I'm going to say thank you to our sponsor, the Army Painter. And I grabbed this picture from their Instagram feed. If I understand it right, this has something to do with his famous musician's boyfriend. So this is a post from Sunday, connected to, of course, the Super Bowl.
That Skaven team looks great.
Am I allowed to say Super Bowl, or do I have to say the big game?
We're not a paid sponsor of them, nor do we draw any money from the NFL, so we can say whatever we want. We are fan consumers.
Fantastic. Awesome. So there we go. But yeah, that Skaven team does look great, don't they? Excellent. This coming Saturday, if you are in the Baltimore, DC area, come along to Games and Stuff, a local store who is having its grand opening event after they moved to their new location last year, towards the end of last year. And I'll be running Paint and Take on Saturday morning from 10 till 1. And I'll be taking all my War Paints Fanatic paints along to the show. I probably won't bring the black because it's really good and I'm almost out. So
I'm pretty sure we know some folks. We could probably get you some more.
We could probably get some more. This is true. We might have to check that out. So yeah, thank you very much, the Army Painter. Next up, we're going to talk about some hobby stuff and what we've been up to. And Rhys, I have you lined up first. What have you been working on?
So a wide range of projects. I'm just putting the finishing touches to some Eldar, but I've done them as so I've used Sylvaneth models. So I've used.
Nice.
Don't ask me what the names of them are. I've just got every tree man that they make, and I've given them Eldar weapons. So the idea is they're like an Exodite army. That's because obviously obviously Eldar grow all their tech. And it's kind of like they're kind of like half finished or they're still forming.
Okay.
So that's kind of the idea for this. So they're all kind of like bone colored and then they've got armor plates on them and stuff like that. And I'm just got a Farseer. You probably can't see that very well, but I've got a Farseer. Hang on. No, wrong way. There we go.
Wrong way, yeah.
Everything's in reverse. So yeah, I've got a Farseer I've been working on there. He's converted from the old Island of Blood High Elf Mage.
Oh, okay.
So super old figure. So bit of old world there, so that was good. On topic, on brand. And then I'm working on the Pit Lord from Bestiarum Games.
Very nice.
Right.
Awesome. So, I think you sent me a photo of.
I did, yeah. They're like of a rendering. I think you've got.
Yeah, so I'll just bring that up because it is very cool. So let's do that. Sharing. So this is what yours will look like?
Mine might be better. It might be worse.
It's like little Angron.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Well, is it the head? Maybe the head is the same size as Angron and the body's just so much beefier, or?
Yeah, I mean,
the head is
I've not got an actual Angron, but similarities are striking.
I love the kind of the magma oozing from the blade.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. Yeah, it is very cool. So he's a 3D print as well. So so I've got him to do, and then the last thing I've got, and it's just I'm gonna have to bend down 1 second because it's quite heavy. Now, last week was a significant birthday for myself.
Okay.
So a significant birthday means a significant present. And
very nice.
I have a Reaver Titan.
That's awesome.
So that's my first Titan. So
that's excellent. Very cool.
So that'll take a while.
Yeah. Yep. That'll take a little bit.
What'd you do for the loadout?
I haven't got weapons yet because I don't know what to do. I haven't even chosen a Legion yet. And you ask anyone, and you get 40 different. Oh, you got to do this one. Oh, you must do that one. It's got to be Metallica. I'm like, all right.
No.
People are very passionate.
Yeah, this is true. They are. Legio Crucius is the one to do.
Well,
If you're gonna go loyalist, the best one lore wise is the fire wasps.
I'm tending towards was it Griffinicus? They used to be the war griffins.
Oh yeah, Legion Griffonicus. Yeah, that's they're
the sort of grey mottled and the yellow.
Yeah, that grey, yellow, and blue is striking. Yeah, it does look great. That's, I think. Well, sorry, grey and yellow. What am I thinking? I'm thinking yellow and blue is Warp Runners.
Yeah, Warp Runners.
Is that a Legio Astorum? I have to say, even though I have Legio Crucius myself, I would lean towards Astorum. Yeah. Nice.
The only reason I didn't paint my Titanica stuff as fire wasps is because they're the exact same colors as Blood Angels, and I was like, I paint so much red. I was like, I need a break. Like I can't do this army.
Oh no. Oh, sorry. I was just noticing in the chat that yes, 2 Joshes now. So we've got Josh Potter and Josh Ranzan. And Josh pointed out that there's currently only 1 like, so please remember to like the video while you're watching it.
Oh yeah, please
hit the likes. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yep, everybody while you're watching it.
Thankfully, Mel pointed it out to us and let us know. So make sure you do that. That'll be great. Scott says, we skipped a lot of steps here, Rhys. What's your hobby origin story? Gamer first or painter first? How do you feel about making your hobby your job? Or is this a side gig? Scott, we will get there.
Yeah. It's a long story.
Awesome. And Patrick says, yay, Exodites. You're speaking my kind of old English. Fantastic. So next up, I figured we'd come to you last, Jake, for your hobby.
That's fine.
So I'm going to jump in and show my pick, which I posted in the group, is these guys.
Oh yeah, I already gave you hell about this. Dave was like, oh, I had a little bit of time to kill and did some knot work, and it's all freehand. And we're like, classic Dave, like, oh yeah, I just knocked out some freehand knot work. It's not a big deal.
Well, the thing that I find funny about that is that I had to copy these. I'm not very good at creating my own knot work and using it to fill a specific shape. And I really love seeing when people can do that very well. I can do it. So I had to Google image search Celtic knot, copy it onto the thing. But
I'll allow it.
Yeah, it is really just about using a fine brush and painting lots of thin lines. But
they look great.
It was pretty cool to do. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, so for next week, so Rhys, we're doing a Tale of 4 Warlords. I'm working on these Space Marines, and next week we have episode 5, I think. So we're coming towards the end of the whole thing.
Awesome.
No, this is 4, I think.
No, it's 5.
Is it?
It's 5. Yeah, episode 5. Then we've got 6 just before Adepticon, and then we will have 7 as the final wrap up the month after Adepticon. But yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out.
They look incredible. That's beautiful awesome work.
They're fun. I must admit, so I did this one first. Did the one on the right first. Nice and big. Actually, oh, there we go. Has my cursor appeared on the screen now?
Yep.
Excellent. Yeah, so I did this one first, and then I did this one second, and I was like, oh man, I wish I'd done this like as a kind of like a standard thing on all of them. It would have been good. But anyway, moving on to Jake. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, these are my converted Death Company. So my only real not issue, because it's a great kit. The Assault Intercessor kit is great, except all 10 guys have left-handed have chainswords and right-handed bolt pistols. The whole squad. And I'm already running 2 10-man Assault Intercessor squads. So I was like, I'm going to have 30 guys that all have left-handed chainswords and right-handed pistols. I was like, I can't do that. So I found the it's the Blood Angels box, the Blood Angels versus Tyranids from like 3 editions ago or 2 editions ago, and it's like unopened. So I cracked it open. I split it with Pete Underwood, actually.
Okay.
So Pete kept all the Tyranids and he gave me all the Blood Angels. And I was like, I'm never going to build these models. Like originally I was like, I already have a ton of Death Company. And then when the Primaris stuff came out, if you can't mix Primaris and Firstborn. Like it literally looks like a bunch of Space Marines out with their kids. If you run them, they look so different together.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like throw the sprues away. So I've just been sitting on them. So this is an Assault Intercessor squad that I basically like chopped and cut a bunch of wrists and then did a bunch of like weapon swaps. And the right hands were easy. The left hands are hard because they have that. Like if you look at the guy on the left, the second guy on the left with the blue helmet.
Yep.
If you look at his wrist, they all have that like Crusader cuff that like comes up over their wrist.
Right.
So I had to snip the wrist high and then like shave it out and then flatten it so I could actually put a fist in there that would fit. So the guy next to him, further out to the left, he has it's one of the Artificer bolt pistols from the old I think it's from the old Command Squad or something.
Okay.
So I just did a bunch of like hand and weapon swaps, and then I added a couple of new weapons. And technically speaking, the squad is supposed to have one guy with a Thunderhammer and a plasma pistol. That's him on the right, and then everybody else is supposed to be armed the same way. Okay. And I was like, yeah, they're Death Company. Nobody's really going to care. So I put in like a Power Fist guy, and there's like a guy with an axe, and I have a guy with like a flamethrower. My favorite guy is probably the guy in the middle down the front. He has an empty hand and a combat knife, like he's running you. Because I was like, he's a slavering maniac, like he's a Death Company guy. On his belt on the back, I have a chainsword and a bolt pistol, but it's like he forgot about them.
Right.
But they were fun. Like I think there's bits on this kit from like 4 or 5 different kits. And then I did, thanks to Jeff sending me some more, I did all of the Reaver skull heads. I just think they look great. And on the regular armor, I just think they look phenomenal. So
yeah, they look really cool. Nice work on those.
Thanks, man. They'll be fun once they're all painted up. Then they all have the actual Death Company backpacks. So that's why they have like the chalices and like the blood drops and stuff. And most of them have like things on the back that look different, but
yeah, they look cool.
Yeah, they look very cool.
And the next photo you sent through.
Oh yeah, this is everything. This is the last of my infantry primed. So the top left is the 2 sanguinary priests, and then the 2 guys under them are my lieutenants, and then the guy under that is my captain, and then the rest of the red guys are my 2nd Assault Intercessor squad, and then all of the Black Marines are the Death Company. So I zenithalled them all. So like the sanguinary guard was really easy. I basically sprayed them with or the sanguinary priests, I sprayed them with Wraithbone, and then I like sort of dusted them pretty heavy with Corax White. And then all of the Marines, the red Marines, I did them with Mephiston Red, and then I stood them all up, and then I sort of high nooned them with Army Painter's Pure Red. So when you kind of tilt them, they already have a zenithal to them. So now I'll hit them with like Agrax and all the washes, and I'll go back and do all the details, and I'll dry brush them. But they should paint up pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a ton of infantry in this army. Like all of it fits in this tray, and then I have another tray that's half full that has another like 11 guys in it, and that's the infantry.
Right. Nice. That's good. You also put together a bunch of tanks.
Oh yeah. So I've got that's 2 repulsors built.
Okay.
That's a repulsor hull, and then I have 1 more to build. So I'll have an executioner and 3 repulsors.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah, it'll be a fun list. I just ordered all of my custom trays from Battle Foam, so hopefully they'll be here. I told the guy, I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm going to Adepticon. I need this stuff for Adepticon." He's like, "Right now we're at a 2-week turnaround." I was like, "Sounds good."
Yep. Right now we're at the peak. I need this for Adepticon time.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure I'm not the only guy. So
everybody needs this stuff last week.
The difference is that my order, I'm not like some guy who's in like, Peoria, Illinois, who's like, "Can I get these 2 foam trays?" And my order total comes to like $60. I'm like, I just did a massive store restock and tacked my trays onto that order. So.
Right. Okay. Please look after the guy spending thousands.
Yeah, please.
Excellent. That's cool. Well, the next thing, just quickly, I noticed that Jeff has joined us. Hi, Jeff. Sean Gleason is here. Loves the network. Thank you very much. And Louis is here.
Oh,
Hi.
and I finished this.
What's that one? Oh, the first wall.
Yeah, so book 3. I'm 3 in. Pretty
Okay.
good. I only started this 2 weeks ago, so I've cranked through the first 3 books.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to get all caught up before Adepticon.
Excellent. Scott asks, Rhys, when Jake says shave it out so the fist will fit, does it mean something different in New England than it does in regular England?
I saw that comment and I have no comment.
Okay.
Well played. Well played.
Awesome. Yep. Good work there. That's great. So the next thing we have is our hot tips for this week. And I think you'll like the look of the 2 images I grabbed.
Ooh.
Loving the Blood Angels aspect. So
I do like both of those.
On the left we have Requiem_82. Requiem_82 does a lot of conversion work, a lot of great green stuff sculpting work. Absolutely spectacular stuff. And I think recently he's been doing a lot of Dark Angels work, but I did find this one. I thought you would appreciate it, Jake.
No, I definitely dig it. I think the next one for me is after I'm done with the Flesh Eaters.
Yep.
I'm going to try to do my Titanica stuff because at some point later on this year, probably closer to the end of the year, we're probably going to get a new Blood Angels Codex, and we'll probably get some new models. Like the rumor is that we're going to get new Sanguinary Guard, a new Death Company box, and hopefully a new Lamardes. Because there's like a bunch of characters that like just don't exist anymore. Like we need a new Sanguinary Priest.
Yep.
The current one is Firstborn, so he looks weird. That's kind of where I pirated a bunch of the stuff for my conversions. But I saw a really cool Lamardes conversion today, and it's Primaris. He looks great. So if they don't do him, I'll have to scratch convert him because my Blood Angel list is all jump troops.
Right.
So. But he's cool. I always like when people do like really cool conversions and try to bring back a bunch of the characters. Like who was the named Salamander's chaplain? Xavier?
Oh.
Is it Xavier?
It might be.
I should know this. I was running Salamanders about a year ago.
Like I mean, they haven't made this model probably since like 5th edition, but it's a metal chaplain and he has a Crozius in one hand and like Thor's hammer in the other.
All right.
And he has the 2 hammers up like this, and there's like the salamander head and fire on the hammer. Like he's just really cool, but he's so tiny. It's one of the old metal chaplains. Yeah. And I don't even think there's rules for him anymore, but I always love when people go back and they kind of nostalgically recreate a lot of those old models in the new scale, like using a Primaris Marine and, bit swapping and stuff. So seeing this guy's take on some sort of Death Company chaplain is just rad. So
yeah, no, definitely cool. And Josh Potter says it is Xavier. Yeah, definitely cool. On the right there is Shibboleth 02 or 02. Not only does Shibboleth do a whole bunch of fantastic terrain and a lot of grimdark stuff. There's a fantastic kind of Space Hulk / Necromunda board that he's done. People can go back and check out. But he is actually also Jonathan Hartman. And in his day job is writing musical scores for Warhammer animated series.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Absolutely super cool. He lives out in LA and spends a bunch of time, as I was saying to Rhys, he spends a bunch of time in London recording at Abbey Road, which is pretty cool.
When we do the animated BuildPaintPlay featurette, we'll have to get him to do the soundtrack.
Yeah, definitely. But it has to be done on a Casio keyboard.
Oh yeah. 8-bit.
Yeah, for sure.
It would sound like it's done by John Carpenter.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome. Definitely super cool. So yeah, there are hot tips for this week. I think the next thing then, moving on from that, is to actually now, Rhys, get into your origin story.
Wow, where do I start? I mean, I've been playing 40K since Road Trader.
Sorry, go ahead.
Playing for you guys is Rogue Trader. So yeah, I've still got my original copy of Rogue Trader.
Nice.
Excellent.
So,
Battle at the farm.
Hmm?
Battle at the farm.
Battle at the farm. Yeah, Battle at the farm. Yeah, Battle of Rinsworld and all that. Yeah, Battle at the farm. When everything was, I think you had to roll up every single Space Marine, the D100. Yep.
Oh, I tell people all the time, Rogue Trader was not a tabletop war game. It was a squad-based D&D adventure. Is basically what it was. Like
very much so. In fact, it's kind of what Inquisitor became. Back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Inquisitor was very similar. So.
Yeah.
So been gaming for like longer than painting and gaming for many years I care to remember. But
did you make the speed stick airspeeder?
Yeah, because at the time we had those deodorant sticks in the UK. We don't get them anymore. I think they're only like a stateside thing. These speedy ones, but back in the day, yeah. And a friend of mine collected Zoids, and I got all the Zoid parts off him as well.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So I mean, mainly as I think someone mentioned, what's my sort of what do I prefer to do? So I'm more of a converter model maker, really. I can't make a kit straight out of the box. I've been doing this for nearly 40 years. I've glued together probably every single model there's ever made. So I can't just glue stuff together. I have to get that part and smash it together in some way. That's kind of where my passion lies. If someone said to me, right, game, build, play, or paint, play, build, it would be build. That would be my
building
choice out of those.
Amazing.
Cool. So sort of first proper real job was working for Games Workshop in retail, and then went off to university, went and studied furniture and product design, completely random. But worked in that industry for about 8 years, but on and off, still worked sort of like key time, part time in various Games Workshops just to keep my hand in, because I've always been part of it, and also the discount was really good back then. Right. The discount was amazing. And then so in and out of Games Workshop, and then went off to work for it was called Asdevium, but now called Asmodee. They're part of Asmodee. So they're kind of like the Asmodee UK, for want of a better term. So I worked for them. I was their telesales manager for a few years, and the sales rep. And then I've probably worked on and off for different companies, miniature companies in the UK. So I've done Warlord Games, Modifius, War Cradle, and now I'm at MyMiniFactory.
Excellent.
He definitely knows all the people that we know. Like,
oh yeah.
I think you and I met online through blogging.
Well, you say online. It was about 18 years ago. So it's what online looked like 18 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
on a message board.
Yeah,
quite possibly.
It was a shout out, wasn't it? You were doing your Custodes article for White Wolf 300.
Oh yeah, I did that.
And you put some kind of shout out saying, I think you put it on a forum. It might be something like Daka or something.
Possibly,
and you were like, I'm doing this article and I want, has anybody else made some custode conversions? And right. I went, yes, I have. And you were like, and then I think you organised it that I went up to head office in Nottingham and they took photographs, and then that was it really. We kind of stayed in touch after that.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's ages ago. Yeah.
It was ages ago. My son was about 3 and he's 21 now. So
yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that long. That's wild. Yeah. Awesome. But yeah, so we've sort of, as I said, kept in touch and done a bunch of different things. I know there was one point where you ran a Kickstarter for some.
Oh God, yeah, that was about 10 years ago. That was about 13 years ago. Yeah.
Some weapon sprues.
Upgrades, yeah, like underslung weapons and things like that. Yeah. And some little track vehicles. Yeah, we did that, and you helped me do some bits and bobs in the UK, in the US for that.
I did the US fulfillment.
Yes, that's right.
I took the sprues, I stuck them in little envelopes, and I mailed them.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it was that kind of thing that, like, having done that, as you said, like 10, 13 years ago, that when you told me that you're now working for MyMiniFactory, I was like, that's perfect. for you. It's almost like you were doing My-Mini-Factory 13 years ago.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
working for them in that community manager role just seemed perfect for you. So
well, yeah, I mean, because so back when we were doing that Kickstarter, obviously we did a lot of pre-production with 3D printing, but the 3D printer was £90,000.
right.
I mean, I don't know what that is it's over 100,000 in US.
Yep. It's about it's about 120.
Yeah, and I say that was like 10, 13 years ago. And if you can consider how much you can pick up like a cheap one on Amazon now for £125 or like 150, 60 bucks.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's really mad. I mean, back then it was all sorcery as well. It was just sorcery and witchcraft.
Yeah. There were 4 people in the world who knew how to do it.
Yeah, and it was like watching it happen. It was like the world's slowest T1000 as well. This model slowly coming out of this goo.
Excellent. So that's cool. Sorry, I'm just going to. I noticed spotted something in the chat. Scott says Rogue Trader had just enough rules to make every kid I played with think we were all doing it wrong. It seemed to confirm that we were not ready for grown-up games.
100%.
Yep, definitely. That's good. And Louise says, I can't do the same. Sorry, I do the same. I can't build a kit stock. And there we go. And Scott says, White Dwarf 300. I played against the guy who proposed in the letter column of that magazine.
There's one way of doing it.
All I can say about the dude is, yikes, bro. Hope it worked. That's good.
Great.
Or was it, hang on, was it Dirty Steve? Might have been Dirty Steve.
Possibly.
Maybe. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. But yeah, so there you go, Scott. There's a whole bunch of origin story there. Basically, Rhys has been in and around miniatures for a long time, but truly enmeshed in the 3D printing world, community, the 3D printing community now. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen happen, or what you've seen develop over the last, let's say, 10 years.
Well, yeah. As I mentioned back, a minute ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously cost and accessibility. I mean, there one, 13 years ago, there was like 4 3D printers of that caliber in the whole of the UK. I could probably find 4 now in my street. It's just accessibility, and for me, I mean, and this is the whole reason that I was attracted to My-Mini-Factory, because I didn't go for a role as a community manager. That role was kind of created for me because I've been in the industry for so long. I think it was at UK Games Expo last year. It was taking me about an hour to go to the loo because I was leaving the stand and it was like, Rhys. And I was like, ah! And my bosses just saw that I knew everyone and everyone knew me. And they kind of went, we need to move this guy from what he's doing to do this. So yeah, it's a cost accessibility, but yeah, and what we about to say, but what drew me to My-Mini-Factory and as a whole, and that's all the industry as well, is the opportunity that it gives everyone in the hobby. There is such opportunity. I mean, 10 years ago, if you had an idea to make your own figure range, rarely that was going to happen unless you've got some serious backing behind you, some serious contacts in China, sculptors. This stuff wasn't digitally sculpted back then. It was still being done, free ups with green stuff and plastic art and wood, and then etched into steel with pens. But nowadays, it's just it just blows my mind. People can visualize and they can realize, and this is the cheesy line. You can visualize what you dream about. It's like you come up with a race, a vehicle, and if you know someone, or if you've got some digital skills, and there are plenty of things out there that you can use to get started. I mean, Tinkercad. I mean, it's a very rudimentary piece of software, but you can do quite a lot in it, and it's very sort of intuitive to because you make things out of basic primitives. basic shapes and stuff. But you want a bit that sticks. You want it to stick on top of a tank, and you could sit there and make it up, save it as STL. And if you've got a 3D printer, you've got it within 2 hours.
Right.
And yes, you can still go down the route of plastic card and milliput and green stuff and sanding and filing. And I still do that. Don't get me wrong. I still do that. But if you want to replicate that, if you want 10 of those, then it's a lot of work. And as Jake showed it with his Salt Marines just then, he wanted all the Reaver helmets.
Yep.
If you can't get hold of it, you've either got to go out and buy a Reaver kit, drop $30-40 on a Reaver kit for 10 heads, or if you know someone, they could sculpt you one up and you can print as many as you like.
Yep.
See, I used a different network. I was like, I'm going to call one of my hundreds of friends that play this game and see if they have any Reaver helmets.
Oh, don't get me wrong, Jake. I'm the same. I've got friends who have got hordes of stuff, and I go, "Have you got any of these?" Yeah. Can I have them? Yeah. What you got to trade? Yeah, I'm doing it every week. I'm swapping and trading stuff.
Yeah, we swap stuff all the time. Like,
yeah. I mean,
in that instance, I got lucky because Jeff was doing the 4 Warlords with us. Jeff just built a bunch of Reavers, but all of his have bare heads, or he used those like those Forge World like Wolfen like with the leather cap dudes. But he was like, "Oh, I don't use the skull heads," and I was like, "Yeah, give me those."
yeah, 100%.
Definitely cool. So just quickly, I'm going to show a couple of shots. I think Jeff is going to like one of those, or one of these shots I'm going to show. Basically, 2 images you sent through that are pieces, basically accessories, conversion parts, kit bashing parts from Grey Tide Studio, I think so.
That's correct. Yep. Manuela Grey Tide, yep.
Yep. Let's just show those quickly. Here we go.
Eternal Pilgrims.
Yeah, so this is their most recent. I think they released these last week or the week before. Strangely, they coincided with a big box of Dark Age of Terminators, and they fit. It's amazing how well they fit. Pure coincidence, I'm sure. Grey Tide's really knocking it out of the park at the moment. They've just done these Eternal Pilgrims pack for Terminators, so you can really, if you've already got Terminators and you want to Dark Angel them up, but you don't want to go out and buy the Dark Angels kit, you can just buy these, add them to the existing. You could probably stick them on the Leviathan ones, or I think there's a standard multi-part plastic kit out now as well for the newer Terminators.
Yeah.
So they're on, and they're doing phenomenally well. They're also available on our sister company, which is Only Games, which is, if you don't have a 3D printer, you can buy them physically, and you literally could buy this as a pack, and that's how they come.
Right. I think
dark angles.
Yeah.
I think the looking at the helmets up on the top left there. I'm not sure. I don't think I can zoom in, but they got a very different kind of look. It's a little bit has a little bit of a Grey Knight kind of look to it, but
yeah,
a little bit of a very high cheekbones kind of look, which is
runway models,
like a nice sort of distinct thing. I think they look quite cool.
I mean they're obviously compatible with a well-known plastic kit, but they've got a little bit of their own style, which is what I like.
Yeah, and I think so. The next image here we've got is one that I think Jeff Smith will like. He says yes, he has a large box arriving tomorrow from Grey Tide, Primal Hounds.
Awesome.
So probably a bunch of this stuff. So
these I'll say when we did so Grey Tide did like he did a frontier on MyMiniFactory, which is like a digital. It's not crowdfunding; it's a product launch, but it works in a very similar way to a crowdfund. But there was also a physical tier as well, and these went absolutely ballistic. These were going gangbusters. We were printing thousands of these daily.
Those are great. The weapons are awesome.
I've even got a set. I've even got a set of those because I picked up the Space Wolf Combat Patrol. So
Nice.
And they were going mental. They were going absolutely gangbusters. And Alex, one of our CEOs, who's more on the physical side, was like, "I can't believe why are these so popular?" He's not a gamer. And we were at Essen, and I showed him the plastic Space Wolf pack from GW.
Right.
And I said, "Look what you get in here for the amount." I said, "Look what you get on the physical thing, and the amount for the amount." And he went, "I get it now." I went, "Absolutely." I said, "And also in that kit, you've got 10 of the same shoulder pad."
Right. Yep.
You know, and helmet and weapon and shield.
Yep.
Whereas this one, you've got like a whole plethora of stuff, which you can
I
really.
I like the helmet with the ram's horns. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he really goes all out. And I said, I've got a set of these for that combat patrol. So, because I've always wanted like a really heavily detailed Space Wolf army. But I don't think I could commit to 2,000 points. But so combat patrol's perfect.
Yeah,
these would be super cool for like heresy too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure they'll find their way into some Mark 6s that I've got.
Yep. I love there are 2 axes there.
Yeah, with the curved half.
It's like curved ones. Yeah.
Yeah. They always look really brutal. Love the look of those.
And again, this is the sort of thing that that I think 3D printing and sculpting has just opened up. It's if a certain manufacturer isn't supporting your very niche part of the hobby, there are other people out there doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not taking money away from Games Workshop, but you still got to buy the Space Marines.
Yep.
So,
Rhys, so I have a question for you. I know we talked about this like years ago. So I remember back when, and this is got to be 8 or 9 years ago. So well before Kevin Roundtree took over as CEO, they were, when Tom was still there, they were kind of like going sue crazy. Like anybody who came within sniffing distance of their IP, like they sued them. And I was really happy that one of the first things Kevin did was like, no more superfluous lawsuits. He's like, unless someone is actually infringing on our property, I don't want to do this. Like, this is just a waste of time. It's a waste of our time and money. And it doesn't look good for us on like a PR look, which I agree. Like, you don't just want to go after everybody who like, makes something that may or may not even roughly infringe on your stuff. But I bring it up because during the Chapter House lawsuit, the guy from Chapter House very specifically said, I'm not trying to like take over their business. Like, my business does not work without their business. And a friend of mine was like, what do you mean? And I was like, okay, Rhys's business is Rhys makes hot dogs. I sell ketchup and mustard and relish and buns. Like, if his business goes away, I don't have a business. Like, so I really appreciated that came out. And needless to say, like, that lawsuit actually went really, really great for Chapter House. Like, in the first ruling, I think Games Workshop, out of the 96 suits they brought against him, the judge ruled in GW's favor for like 47 of them. And then they appealed it because they felt like that was wrong. And then in the appeal, they ended up winning 2 out of like the 96. Because the judge was like, yeah, all your paperwork is wrong. You guys don't even own half the stuff you think you do. You've never bought the rights from your artists. You've never compensated your artists. And you had guys like Jess Goodwin who stepped up and went, I'm just going to sign all my stuff over to Games Workshop just to show everybody that it's done and it's legal. And like, since then, a lot of people have come out. But the question I wanted to ask you is, I've said for years that as 3D printing has gotten more, like you said, advanced and accessible and sort of ease of use, and Dave could buy a 3D printer and print stuff. I've always wanted to know if there's a way that you could make an STL file that's limited use. So the thought process I had was, if I order something off your website right now and I buy the STL, if I have a Form 3 or whatever, I can just print as many as I want. As long as I'm not selling them, I'm not breaking any rules. I can make as many as I want.
Absolutely.
And if I buy the physical one, like I ordered off your sister site, and I'm like, I need 10, and they send me 10, and that's it. If they had a way where you could not download the template, but basically your computer could have access to, like, my computer would have access to your server, and you're like, okay, you bought the STL. You have 24 hours of access. So I have to log in. It has to be live. I download it, and you know roughly how long everything's going to take to print. So you're like, well, this model is going to take 4 hours to print. So you could say, you've got 24-hour access to this file. So I can print as many as I want in 24 hours. But then as soon as the 24 hours is up, it's almost like a digital service. It would just expire, and now you don't have access to the file anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like, could you do that?
I mean, you're talking a different language. That's for me. That's where the magic,
like programmer, like coding.
That's where the magic and sorcery creeps into it. Yeah. I'm very much a nuts and bolts guy. I'm sure it must be, because like if you buy a film on something like Disney, Amazon, you get it for like 24 hours, right? Mm. You can watch it at any point in that 24 hours, but you have it for 24 hours and then it's gone.
Right.
So I'm assuming there's something that can be done, but yeah, no, I'm not the right guy to answer that one.
I've always thought that if like Games Workshop's big hang up right now is that they don't really do the 3D print model, which I totally respect. Like I like working with polystyrene. Plastic models are my favorite. So like that's what I want to do. And like you said, you convert, so it just makes it so much easier. Polystyrene sticks to other polystyrene, doesn't matter who makes it or what kit it is. Mm-hmm. But if GW could do something like that, where they could sort of like lock and unlock a file, if I live in the middle, because they're always like, oh, go to your friendly local. But there's definitely parts of the world where like there isn't a friendly local. There is no Warhammer store. I don't have access to a 3D printer, or maybe I do have access to a 3D printer, but I don't have access to like get a lot of this stuff. If I could like go, I'm just going to pay for this. I'm going to print myself a Sisters Army, and then I'm going to download, I can get the digital codex on my phone through their app. And then it's like, oh, cool, I have a Sisters Army. Like if they could figure out a way to navigate that gate, I feel like it's a whole new universe for them if they can do that.
There is a way to do that. I also do not understand the technical aspects of it, but I've spoken to some people who are much smarter than me, who say that it's totally possible for that kind of thing, either timed or by quantity. So it could be you buy 5 prints or that sort of thing. But yeah, there are ways to do that expiring files.
It just blows me that more people don't do it.
I think it's one of those things where it's coming.
Yeah, it's still a growing industry. To be fair, the nuances of it, it's still it's still fairly. I mean, we had sort of home printers now. Sort of 4 years? 2020, 2019, 2020 was it when they really started becoming popular?
Yeah.
So it's only 4 years. So a lot of people, we're still finding our feet in how it really works. I mean, we've got the file sharing, and that all works fine. But I think these subtle nuances are, this is the next progression.
Okay.
Yep. Just quickly, was going to say hi to Brett Abbott. Hi, Brett, and also to Mel. Hey, Mel.
Hey, what's up, Mel?
The terrain shooter, nice.
Yep. Joining us. Mel is also up past midnight.
Yeah, I can see.
Doing well.
We had to send Mel a box of whatchamacallits to get him to periodically jump on here.
Awesome. Josh Potter said the problem is if your print goes pear-shaped or your machine takes a left turn, which Brett followed up with, you see me print, I see. Yeah. I think so. Scott asked, as someone who doesn't print myself but buys online, Rhys, how do you feel about some of the absolutely shocking sculpts and prints that people can and do sell? I mean, both ends of the spectrum.
What do I think of? I mean, it's like all things, isn't it? It's you pay for quality, really. It's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons why MyMiniFactory has is a subscription. So if you want to sell, I mean, anyone can upload free stuff on MyMiniFactory. Anyone can do that. But if you want to sell, you have to pay for a monthly subscription, and that actually works as a kind of a bit of a filter. Because if if you don't want to pay, you're not. We find if you don't want to pay that subscription, there's a certain level of commitment you're not willing to achieve. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons is that we have it. And obviously we need to pay people's wages like myself, but that's we that's what we find. But obviously, but it's like with everything you buy cheap. Yeah. But everything as it's you might, but it's down to what you're using them for. If you're literally just playing with your kids on the kitchen table, does it matter that we're using low quality minis? Not really. They're just like meeples and things you get in board games. If you're into Golden Demon, which obviously you can't because it's a 3D print, but another painting competition,
the capital,
you're going to want a high-end sculpt. So,
yep, absolutely. I think, same thing goes for physical minis that we've had for 40, 50 years.
Yeah, there are some of them look like, some of them now still look like they're carved out of potatoes.
Yep, exactly. And some of them were.
Yeah.
And deep fried.
Speaking of stuff carved out of potatoes, did you guys see the guy? I'll have to find it online. Some guy made a sprute list. So it's a Crute army that he has literally made out of sprues. And it actually looks pretty good. Like, it's clearly sprues. Like, you can see that it's sprues. But he actually did a pretty good job. Like, when he backed up, I was like, oh, that's a Crutox and that's a shaper. Like, you can tell what they are because he like cut the sprues so they're like in the right shapes and profiles and stuff. It's insane, but it's literally the sprute list. It's a Crute list made out of sprues.
That's amazing. You're gonna have to send me a link for that,
dude. I'll find it. It's ridiculous. It blew my mind. I was like, that can't be right. And I zoomed in. I was like, oh my god, it's all sprues.
Amazing. But yeah, hopefully he's not going to be selling those. Scott says, I've actually found almost zero correlation between price and quality than purchasing physical 3D printed work. The less something costs, the more I'm surprised with how good the print in the mini is. That's interesting. Yeah, I think
that's fair. That's fair.
There might be a closer, I guess, window of cost. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, yeah, Scott's probably right. I mean, there are people out there. I think it all depends where the creator is where they're coming from. If it's a side hustle or something they just want to do, then they're not going to want to charge the earth for it, or they just want to get their art, for want of a better term, out into the world. It's a bit like look at Banksy. He sprays his stuff on the side of buildings. Yep. So, and it's there for everyone to see, and graffiti artists and things like that. But if you're a business, you need to start charging a premium to obviously keep the lights on and pay people, because it's not just you've got marketeers and graphic guys and several.
I think for me that's the big one, and this might answer Scott's question too. I think the big one too is it depends on like you said, who you're buying it from. Because I've seen people go the crowdfunding route, whether it's GoFundMe or Kickstarter, and it's like, oh, Rhys and Dave are releasing a new line of goblins, and it's like, if you back us for one digital sculpt, it's like $5, or if you want any 5, it's $10, or for $25 you can get like all of the goblins. For $50 you can get all of the goblins and all of the orcs, or for $75 you get access to everything. And it was like, oh, that's really cool. So at the end of the day, if I know I'm going to get, let's say there's 100 sculpts for $75, that's a great deal. Like, that's less than $1 a miniature. Like, who wouldn't do that? Now, most people are not ever going to take advantage of that, which is kind of what they're banking on, or they don't care anyways. You're just buying the file. But if we get 1,000 backers, you know what I mean? And let's say everybody just backs to get like the goblins or the orcs at $25 a pop. Cool. I did it. Like you said, I got my art out. I just wanted to get everything rendered so I can print it for myself. I made some extra money as well. You've got people doing that. And then you've got professionals like Victoria Lamb, who is spending time sculpting her own stuff. And you can either buy the STL or, like you said, a pre-printed one and have it sent to you if you don't have access to a 3D printer. And I think that the big thing, to Scott's point, is it's the big gap between, is this some guy in his basement who just happens to be a really talented sculptor? Or is this, somebody in their basement who is working for Victoria Lamb and for their like really well-known sculptors cranking stuff out? Or is this, some guy who thought it'd be fun to sculpt something out of a potato and then scan it and put it online? And it's like, they're all available. That's the problem right now, is it's all available. And there's not really a way to go, I mean, this is top tier stuff. This stuff's okay. This stuff's like not particularly great. This stuff probably shouldn't be, probably shouldn't be charging money for this, but there's nobody to like make that delineation.
There's no regulation.
Yeah, which I guess
but that also cycles back to what I said right from at the start. Yeah. It's open for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't, you know, you don't have to, but you know, your skill level, you're not governed by your skill level, because someone out there is going to like it. You know, you can't please all the people all the time, but you can please some of the people some of the time. You know, and you know, one person might like it, one might, you know what, that speaks to me. That potato, that speaks to me. You know. They might be a big Samwise Gamgee fan. I
don't know. Awesome. Fantastic. Brett makes a great point. Artists don't know how to charge yet.
Yep.
Really.
That's true.
Latest miniature rumor: Dave and Rhys are coming out with a new range of Orc minis.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
2035. And Patrick Keith, who's working in the space, says it is a democratized market space for sure. Yeah. If people want them, they'll vote with their dollars or pounds or euros or other currencies.
I think another thing too. I think one of the weirdest things right now is like, so I'm working with a company. I'm working with the guys at Res Nova. We're making the new Warzone Eternal skirmish game for Mutant Chronicles, and the biggest cost for us, and I'm assuming it's for anybody, is the skill person who is sculpting the mini, or, you know, making the CAD or whatever, however they're doing it. That's where like all of your front end cost is. So a lot of times when I see these board games that come out and they're like, oh, or mini war game or whatever, and they're like, it comes with a bunch of miniatures, and they're like, we're looking to raise $65,000, and then that company raises like $1.7 million. And then you'll find out that like they folded or they couldn't do it. And I'm the business guy in me, like the 25 plus years of Fortune 500 business experience is like, how did you do that? How did you screw that up so badly that you were looking to raise 80 grand and you crushed that goal? Like you obliterated it and still like not only didn't get it out, collapsed, like your business collapsed. Yeah, Dave. Yes. You in the back there.
Most often when you see that 65,000 or 80,000 or whatever it happens to be, that is not at all what they actually need.
Oh, again, I'm aware, like having just in a Kickstarter, I know what it costs to make
significantly larger, but studies have shown that if you are asking for more than, if you're asking for over 100,000 on a Kickstarter, you've got to be CMON on a gaming Kickstarter. You've got to be CMON or Awaken Realms on GameFound or something like that.
You've got to have a Mantic,
yeah.
or have a solid IP.
Yeah.
People won't back it because they just think it's not going to get there.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Like these are ones that, like, I don't want to throw any dirt on anybody, so I won't mention any names. But sure. Very, very recently, I got an email from a company who was like, "Hey," basically they were like, "Hey, sorry." Now there was a good news piece of this, which is that IP that they have worked on got grabbed by another company, and that new company is going to honor everybody who backed the original Kickstarter, and we're just going to get a basic set. If we want to add more, we can, but as like hey, we're sorry that happened to you, we're all going to get this new set.
Yeah. But
the amount of money that the original company raised, I was astounded by. From just a business standpoint, they literally they were looking to raise like 80 or 90 grand, and they raised over $1.5 million. And they screwed the pooch and were unable to put out the game. And it took them so long, they lost the IP. And I was like, I don't even understand how that happened. It's like they didn't have the right people there to like count beans and pay attention to stuff and, you know, pull levers. It's just crazy.
No, it's mismanagement. It's really that. But But anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah, sorry.
That happens anyway.
Yeah.
I snagged a few images of stuff that I've pulled down off MyMiniFactory to add into my Space Marine army. So I grab those. The first one from the Dreadnought that I've got here. So this is when after Strike Force Augustus, whatever the thing was called. It'd been released and was sold out everywhere because everybody wanted the Desolation Marines.
The Nerf dudes,
the guys with the Nerf guns. But there was no indication at all of when GW was going to release the Brutalis Dreadnought on its own. So I got this, downloaded this kit, printed this out, and added it to a Redemptor Dreadnought, which is now this guy.
I just used my Leviathan.
That's totally fair, but I'd already printed this out before I thought of, before
Sure.
you recommended that I just use my Leviathan for it. But so yeah, this is I think this is one of my first purchases as a 3D print. Also because I ended up in a situation where I had a lot sort of an easier access to the 3D printer. So definitely it was cool. And now that I have that one and the plastic for Brutalis, I've got two different models.
When the show's over, Rhys, Dave makes them fight.
Like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
What do you mean when it's over? I can do that now. But yeah, I've got two models that look different. They have their own character to them, which is great. I like that. But another thing that I was telling Rhys about this before the show, I was like, all right, I really need to get some
tactical rocks
to stick on the base. Bases of a bunch of my minis. I need to build it up, but I need to get it sorted. And yes, I could totally have gone outside and found a whole bunch of rocks, chunks of slate and hit it with hammers and all that sort of thing. But I typed in tactical rock, and this file came up. Just one. There's just one guy who named his file Tactical Rocks, and I was just like, "That is amazing. I will buy this. I will buy this STL." And
how many of these did Jeff buy?
Oh,
how many of these did Jeff? Jeff loves a good tactical rock.
Jeff does love a good tactical rock, but now that he knows about them, so IOL minis, you can find them on MyMiniFactory. So just make sure it's Imitation of Life Miniatures. It's the name there.
Very nice.
Post-it note. And the custom bit are the guys that did the Brutalis. It's excellent. Jeff says, ordering them now. and Mel says, Tactical Rock was my personal sidearm in the medics.
Very nice.
I thought he was going to say that was his nickname.
Yeah.
Tactical Rock.
Tactical Rock. I don't know. Fantastic.
Oh, Tabletop Super Show just jumped on.
Excellent.
And Scott says, hobbyists are not professionals. Jake is a game store owner. I promise you somewhere right now, at least 2 customers are talking about how they could run your store and it would be so much better. He goes, and of course they're wrong. Thank you, Scott. That's very kind of you.
Just those guys are wrong. Everybody else. Awesome.
And I've been there where Jake is. I've owned my own FLGS as well, so I've been there.
Nice. Oh, there we go. Mel says his nickname was Tripod.
That's enough information.
Yeah. That's too much information. Moving on. This is one of the other aspects that I like about the way you've set up, what you guys have set up MyMiniFactory, is so last year, I backed the Idols of Torment Kickstarter from Blackmagic Craft. So it's a skirmish game, sort of purgatory kind of aspect. A lot of different demons fighting for the souls of folks.
Dave loves a good skirmish game.
I do love a good skirmish game, and I love the look of this as well. But in my MyMiniFactory library is the rule book, the digital rule book that I have obviously already downloaded. There's a big downloaded bar at the bottom there. But if I lose that file, I can go back to my MyMiniFactory and click like download again, because I bought that digital book. Also there, of course, I have the so the different factions are called orders, and there are 9 models per faction for a grand total of 72 miniatures. And I haven't downloaded this yet. I haven't downloaded these files. These have become part of my digital pile of opportunity. So, but yeah, at any stage, when I'm ready, I can go and look through those and go, oh yeah, okay, I want to print out that model. I want to print out 17 of those, but I've got those there ready to go. I might even use some of these for Rain in Hell, which is a skirmish game from Snarling Badger Studios, Uncle Adam and Vince.
I've got Rain in Hell.
Yeah. It's definitely cool looking game. But I love that creators don't have to think about multiple avenues anymore. It used to be like, okay, well, where am I going to host this? Where am I going to host that? I can put them all together on MyMiniFactory. So tell us a little bit more about the different things that different creators can do.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. So yes, as you quite highly, yeah, they can put the STLs on there. They can put PDFs on there as well. We originally spoke to Alessio Cavatore, and he's got a couple of old ball games that are no longer in print, and he's never going to reprint them. And he's put the boards up, the PDFs of the boards, the token sheets and stuff like that. So if someone wanted to download them and they've got access to their home printer or any sort of larger commercial printers as well, they can print them all off and continue. That's one of the good things. It kind of keeps those older games that probably aren't financially viable to bring back. They can still be played and they can still be accessed, which is phenomenal. But so we've got the store where people can obviously just sell their STLs and their PDFs. We also have Tribes, which is our monthly subscription service. So you have tiers and you choose which one you want, and then obviously each month you get, if you're subscribed, you get your offering from that creator each month.
So with that one, you subscribe to a particular creator.
Yes, it's creator led. Yeah. So you'll just subscribe, and then every month you'll get whatever tier you've signed up for is what you'll receive. And obviously we've got things like we can do like loyalty rewards as well. So they can say, hey, look, if you're subscribed for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you get these models as well. So we've got that, and obviously there's a welcome pack as well. So most tribes, if you subscribe, you'll get a big bundle of stuff just of subscribing as well. And then we've got Frontiers, which is our product launch facility. So it's obviously it's very similar to a crowdfund, so like a Kickstarter and a game founder, that kind of thing. But you're not waiting for anything. The moment you pledge, you get your files. They're done. So it's not all that you might get them in a couple of months when I can be bothered. The main bulk of the bulk of the actual there we go. So the bulk has to be done. Milestones is different. We give people a bit of leeway on milestones because obviously, as the campaigns are running, milestones are being added to, and obviously they might not be 100% ready, but the actual product you're launching has to be ready. So, yeah, you've pulled up Secrets of Tixel there. So this is one-page rules.
When did this launch today?
It launched at 2 p.m. GMT, so 2 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, and it's already done 30,000, which is really good.
I was just looking at this. The lizard men are gorgeous.
The lizard men are really nice. The little mage dude. People are falling in love with it. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
but,
the skink.
it's probably
Yeah,
like
the little skink guy is cool.
Tixie Wixie or something like that. Probably, I think they've gone with the sort of naming conventions of the original lizard men in the GW Army books.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, really good. So yeah, so this is Secret of Tixel. So this is the first campaign that One Page Rules have actually run on MyMiniFactory, and it's a campaign for a narrative campaign. So you've got several. There's a few tiers. You've got just the heroes, so you can go and the campaign itself, the narrative campaign. I think that's something like $10. And again, as soon as you pledge that, you just go click, and you download it, and you've got them there and then.
Okay.
And then you've got other tiers, which are armies as well. So you can get like the Duchies of Vinci armies, or the Lizardmen, or the Saurians, I believe they're called.
Right.
So yeah, if you go to, you just scroll back to the top, you'll see the 4. So that's the 4 new heroes.
Right.
Techie Hakatlo. Is that? I guess it's Ignacio and Lucrecia. Yeah. So, and I really love the Duchess da Vinci stuff. It's that kind of Leonardo da Vinci what if kind of.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Those are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let me scroll through to
they did spell ankylosaur wrong, but
fantastic. But
yeah, like they're sort of airborne troops have got like the Leonardo da Vinci concept sketch of a helicopter. They've got like the little spirally things, and like the tank, the Cara Aramato is based off of Da Vinci's sketch for a tank.
Yeah, Da Vinci's tank design.
Yep, with a plow on the front. Yeah,
I love the Scout slingshot.
Yes, yeah.
This guy
what was the old grot launcher?
Yeah, the
Doom Diver. Yeah,
that's quite cool.
Yeah.
So so this is it's just it ends on February 29th because it's a leap year, so we can have a 29th. So
let me scroll through to there we go.
Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah, the area guard. I think they're great.
Yeah,
I like those guys, but I like the big robots under them.
Yeah, they kind of remind me of the Golden Army from Hellboy 2.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I was going to say they had a bit of the, which again, a little bit of the Golden Army, but Fifth Element.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also the K-Band machine from the Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
But,
just needs to cut little tracks underneath with some tentacles.
Yep, that'd be great.
Obviously this is just the example of. I mean, we have different campaigns launching from different creators daily, weekly, monthly, annually. They're always, and there's something for everyone there. There's, there really is a wide range of products and stuff. But this is cool because this is cool. This is a nice little. It's for their Age of Fantasy game, and it's like it's a nice little campaign.
Yeah.
Sort of the Duchess da Vinci's of sort of doing an expeditionary force into the Saurian land, and the Saurians don't like it, kind of thing. So it's very kind of conquistadors into.
It's Lustria all over again.
Yeah, it's very conquistador and going in nicking gold. Yep.
But there we go. There's your $70 army.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before.
So that's one of the tiers.
One of the other things I noticed here is that so is this one page rules has partnered with Two Thin Coats, or is this something
kind of? So we in MyMiniFactory we've got a partnership with Two Thin Coats.
Nice.
So we use their paints on our paint and take tables, and we provide them sometimes with miniatures for their paint and takes as well. We've got UK Games Expo coming up at the end of May this year, which is kind of like the UK's Gen Con. It's the big gaming event, and we're actually running a design competition at the moment for our creators to design a model that's based on the UK Games Expo mascot. They've got a dragon, but this year they've added like a little baby dragon. So we said, okay, it's a loose brief. Come up with a baby dragon. Keep it as loose as you want. And some people have gone very literal. But some people, and I said, what's to say you can't do a dragon that's a babe? I've said, interpret it how you will. And the idea is that will go off and that'll be voted on by various communities. So creators will vote on it, our community will vote on it, and then the UK Games Expo community will vote on it. And the chosen model, we're going to produce 10,000 of them.
Okay.
And we're going to give them away on our stand. We're going to have people walking around handing them out to people. We're going to use one our paint and take, which is what you use. Well, that's how we do raffles and giveaways at shows, and the way you enter. It's not based on how well you've painted. It's not a painting competition, but you have to paint a model to enter. So it's open to everyone. You don't have to be a fantastic painter. It's literally that's your entry ticket, for want of a better term. And then Two Thin Coats are going to be using them as well on their paint and take in another hall. So we've partnered up with them. There was also, I think, Chronicle Brushes as well, and we've partnered up with them. They've got so we've got a monthly subscription through MyMiniFactory called the Adventure,
right.
Which is so we've put Titan Forge and Free League We smashed them together. So Free League I've got Dragonbane, their sort of fantasy role play system and setting, but they've never had any sort of figures for it. Any sort of character representation. So we got Titanforge and put them together, and Titanforge are making models for them, and that's part of the adventure. So it's a subscription service. You get a couple of these new Dragonbane models and a teaser of an adventure, and then there's a whole then we have 4 other creators who submit models and PDFs, but we've got affiliates as well, so you'll get discounts on resins, chronicle brushes, and that kind of thing. So
are you guys doing the minis for Modifius? Are you doing the Octung Cthulhu or not Octung Cthulhu, it's the new Roman one,
Cohort Cthulhu?
Yeah, are you doing the miniatures?
It's a conversation I'm trying to have with Chris. I used to work for him, so I've got an easy in there. But they have got some of their stuff on MyMiniFactory, so a lot of their Fallout scenery and their Skyrim stuff is on MyMiniFactory. You can just you can buy the files through MyMiniFactory.
I just assumed, because I know that when we were at Gamma last year, I introduced Chris to the guys we were talking to the guys at Titanforge, and Chris came over, so we were all just kind of chatting. But I know that Chris has actually set it up so that you can get Titanforge stuff on Modifius's website, or at least they were trying to do that. So I know that they have a relationship. So I was like, oh, maybe if Titanforge is doing all the Free League stuff, and I know Free League has a relationship with Modifius as well.
Yes, so. That's right. Yep. Yeah, because I remember selling the Aliens role-play game when I was with Chris.
Just quickly, Scott's asked a great question. Is Rhys, can I look at a project like this and just pick and choose a couple of selections and buy them physically?
From the armies that are on that campaign?
Yeah,
that specific campaign, yes, but you go to Only Games in there, because the Saurians and the Duchies of Inches are on Only Games. So you can go on there. You should be able to pick up those miniatures on Only Games somewhere if you go to the one-page rules shop.
And that's only-games.co.
Yes, only-games.co. Yeah.
If you're going from MyMiniFactory, there's a tab across the top that says physical. Just click on that. Yeah,
and then you just find the you can just type in one-page rules in the search bar, or just if you go, I can't remember what the tab is, but I think it's got creators, and it's alphabetical, and you should go to one-page rules, and they are in there. Right. The new heroes aren't. I know that.
Okay.
But obviously, because I don't think they want to muddy the waters with the campaign that's running. Obviously, right. They want the campaign to run its course.
Oh my goodness, they have a Ratman Royal War Throne. Awesome.
Of course they do.
Got distracted.
It's a rabbit hole. It's a real rabbit hole. MyMiniFactory and Only Games is a real rabbit hole when you get on there.
So there you go, Scott. Cool. So you can do that generally to a greater or lesser degree.
Yes. Yeah. I believe for the campaign that's running, it's the heroes and the actual PDF itself, the actual campaign itself is the new content. The actual Saurians and the Duchess of Inches are all available. They're available through MyMiniFactory's download, and they're available on Only Games as physical.
Yeah. And one of the other things that you said at the start, I think I'll just reiterate is, and I guess ask the question: is this for all frontiers? Is that when you back it or you order, the things are available immediately? So.
Yes, so digitally they're available. They're available immediately. Obviously, it's down to the individual creator whether they want to do a physical tier or physical product, as well. Like Grey Tide, they chose to do the physical as well, and it went really well for them. So that's down to the creator. That if they want to do that, they can. And some creators don't want to go down the physical route. They just here's my STLs and have done with it. It's it's something we're trying to grow on Only Games. But one of the other things as well is so things like so I'm talking to APR. I'd quite like them to do the campaign PDF, so we can do booklets and books on Only Games now.
Right.
So if you have a rule set, that's something that we can sell it for you. We can sell you a physical copy.
Right. Excellent.
And we can do cards as well.
Yep.
So if you've got a card deck, there's a company called Dice Heads. It's got a deck of cards up there for a game of theirs that's doing really well. That's and there's Mr. Modular, Mr. Mr. Modulok. He's got a game called Modulok or something like that. It's Skulka Mulka by any other name, I guess. It's an orc skirmish game, orcs fighting orc skirmish game, and you can buy a physical copy of that. So if you don't want to be on a tablet or on your phone or have a print off a dodgy PDF, you can buy a physical copy. I think it's something like $10 for a physical copy. Yeah.
I saw obviously we saw each other at Nova Open last year, and I saw one of the I think it was one of the early physical products that you had, like physical prints that you had. Quality was fantastic.
Yes.
Really.
We did a lot of investment. There's a lot of investment into machinery. In fact, we should have, by the end of April, we should have our US facility open up as well.
Okay.
So for the guys in the US who wouldn't ordinarily get stung by customs, we're going to have a US manufacturing facility as well. So for physical.
Very
Excellent.
nice.
Yeah. Whereabouts is that going to be?
Miami.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never been. I've never been. So
I don't know.
I will go. But
it's just in one of the corners. It's like there is.
Yeah.
You can put it in. It's just like one of the corners. But no, cool. No, good to know. So end of April, you say?
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, we're making more headway. So we're looking at a production facility in Europe as well to help with customs and stuff as well. So Brexit hasn't been kind.
No, not at all. Awesome. But yes, Matt says always good to know, since some of us are not so technologically minded and don't have printers.
Yeah.
And Brett also said so underwater in a few years.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
No. Yep. Fingers crossed they build it on stilts. We'll see how it goes.
I've seen the unit. It's a very nice unit.
You just move to the next floor, right?
Yeah, that's it. Just go at one. Yeah.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, I think sorry, Scott just said, when you open the American facility, make them pay you in England. Pay you in England a share. Pay you in England a share? Let them have a say in the way that the company is run. I swear it'll work this time. It won't. There'll be a whole bunch of minis tossed in the ocean. It'll be terrible. But anyway, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else we sort of haven't really covered.
I think we've covered most of the things that most of the things that we're doing. I mean, I'll share with you our kind of especially we're more the physical side of it. Our ultimate goal is to be able to do something like a print on demand board game.
Okay,
that's essentially where we want, or I say board game in the loosest term, print on demand game. So we will be able to do miniatures, rules, cards, dice, box, insert, the works. And that, for me, I think that's the real exciting thing.
Yeah, that's a game changer. Like,
well, I'm not sure if you've got things like this in your store, Jake, but I remember things like 30 years ago going into local game shops in the UK, and this was like the Old West. These were not fun places to go into. You were lucky if they had lights, and you would see these A4 Ziploc bags, and inside it would be just white printed paper, when possibly a yellow or green printed cover, and it'd be someone's rules or game they've made up, and they've gone to the library and run off 10 copies and stuck it in a bag, and they're charging £3 for it. This is just that.
Yeah. Like I'm familiar with what you're talking about. We don't do that, but I remember seeing it in stores growing up.
Yeah.
I think, especially because we know a lot of the same folks. Like, I'm friends with a bunch of the guys that were at Flat River. Another buddy of mine works for a huge packing company. Like, Dan Cotrop now works for another company doing like corporate packaging and stuff. And just on our end, through experience now, trying to like produce, kickstart, back, design, print, and sell a game from like, from the idea of the concept to delivery. There's a lot of moving pieces. And the more we run into it, like I know myself and the guys at Mythic Americas. I don't know if you know the guys at Mythicos. But
yeah, also with Warlord.
Yeah. Right. So that Warlord was distributing for them. But the guys at Mythicos are their own thing. And they basically figured out that it was just easier to do it all on their own. So I'm working with them now, and we're still trying to like, and I don't know how far away this is going to be because we keep trying to work on it. And because of all the restrictions, whether it's government or finance or backing or whatever, it's like you take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But I feel like once somebody turns that corner and is able to go, oh yeah, we can get you, like we work with 4 different miniatures producers. We work with 3 different packaging companies, 4 different card companies, 2 different publishing companies, like 4 different book binding companies and 2 different dice manufacturers. Like Rhys comes to me with his game and I'm like, okay, well, here's your options for miniatures. Here's your options for packaging. Here's your options for dice. Here's your option for rule set. And then we just make everything and print it. Like, as soon as someone is able to get all of those, have all those chainsaws in the air without killing themselves, I think you're going to see a big change. So.
And the thing is as well, it's the MOQ is one because we're print on demand.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, just think of the guys who've done this game. They get their game out and they've raised enough money to get 3,000 copies made and shipped over from China and this, that, and the other. And they've gone to a show and they've sold 100 copies in 10 years because it's a super niche game that everyone went, oh, that's a great idea. And those people have bought it. And then they've got 2,000 sitting in their garage for the next 10 years, you know, slowly going moldy. You know, you should be, I'm hoping, you know, you should get to that point where people go, right, okay, I'm doing a show. I might sell 30, I reckon. Okay, I'll order 40. We're not currently, and I'll be very truthful, we're not going to be able to match China prices. Of course we're not. We're not working in those kind of quantities. But as the costs keep getting lower and lower and lower, which is what is going to happen, you know, yeah, you're going to be, you know, Dave's going to come up with his game one day and go, I just want 30 copies for Adepticon. And we'll go, okay, we'll make you 30 copies for Adepticon. And yes, so your individual unit price might not be as keen, but you won't have 500 copies in a storage unit.
No, I agree. I think that, and the other thing you guys save people is time, because if I'm going to get, even if I'm going to get a great unit price from China, and let's say I want 1,000 copies. If I know that you guys can just print on demand 1,000 copies for me, like as soon as I send you the files, you can just do it. And let's say I need them for Stripe or I need them for Nova. And I'm like, well, I need them in like 4 months. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's no problem. We'll get it done. Even if I know that it's going to be slightly more per unit through you guys, it's saving me time, and time is irreplaceable. I've seen so many people that have put in these huge orders to China, and it's like, well, minimum quantity was like you said, 3,000. So we ordered they were like, we really only wanted 2,000, but the price was really good. So we ordered 3,000, and then COVID hit and the price of shipping containers went up. And instead of getting it in 3 months, we're going to get it in 14 months. It's like time, saving people on time and minimum quantity.
You get a container ship stuck in the Suez Canal for 3 weeks.
Yeah, seriously, because some guy decided to turn the boat sideways. I think that you guys are always going to be competitive in that market, because it's like you said, if I need less and I want it quicker, that's always going to beat saving 80 cents on a unit. Always.
And you can always take it to the other extreme as well. Say you've got your 3,000 copies and it sells out in that day. And you go, oh, I need to reorder. And they go, yeah, you can have them in 6 months.
Yep.
People in 6 months, people have moved on.
Yep.
If we can say, okay, we'll have them we can have 1,000 to you in a month.
Oh, new gaming room. Dave and Rhys will be printing to order their new Orc Skirmish game.
We're calling dorks.
We better get on this.
Yeah.
Where's my pen? Where's the napkin?
Yeah, somebody jot this down.
Fantastic. That's funny. Awesome. I think cool. Well, no, that's good. I think we've covered a lot of stuff. I mentioned to Rhys before the show that we now check out community miniatures. So cool painted stuff. We have a whole bunch to show this week. I think people have been super excited and doing a lot of painting. So are we ready to look into these?
Absolutely.
100%.
Very cool. And if at any point along the way through looking at these, anybody has any additional questions for Rhys, just pop them in the chat and we will get to them. So I press this, and I press this, and then this, and then this, and then this one. So it's only 5 clicks. So first up, we've got Aaron Provost. Done a bit more work on his Necrons, so we're getting a very clear idea of which direction they're going now. Aaron has he's built up his 1,500 point force, I think. So
it's just scarabs. It's 1,500 points of scarabs.
It is
amazing.
It's just this base. This base is 1,500 point scarab swarm. Think of what it can do. Oh my goodness! But no, he's built up his force and is getting ready to jump in on those. So I think he's.
I love that yellow. That yellow is so good.
It is amazing, isn't it? Just got brilliant pop.
That blend and the blend is just wonderful.
Yeah, it is
so smooth.
Yeah, and I love the little scratches on there too. Big fan of that. But yeah, looking awesome. Excellent. Yes, Matt says Aaron thinks looking incredible. Love that yellow. There's Necrons ate someone's Imperial fists. Excellent. Maybe Chris Kamig's Imperial fists. But,
maybe.
Yep, they look great. Awesome work, Aaron. Bing has posted this. Being super excited that Guild Ball is coming back.
That's us.
Yep.
Only Games is doing the on demand.
Fantastic. There we go.
Yeah. And can we just say to people watching, this wasn't planned?
No, that was
but no, that is us. It was it said, I think the press release said MyMiniFactory, but yeah, obviously it's the only game side of it. But yeah, we're doing the Guild Ball fulfillment.
Excellent. Yeah, it was super funny. I'd seen, like, over the last week, I've seen maybe 3 or 4 people post about it, and I was like, okay, cool. And I went to, like, I typed in Guild Ball returns or Guild Ball coming back, and all I got were like 4-year-old Reddit posts about why are they getting rid of Guild Ball. I couldn't find anything anywhere, so I asked Bing about it, and there are a couple of YouTube videos on the Steamforge channel.
This looks like a grot tank.
It does, doesn't it? It's a great sort of driller. Yeah, that drill at the front. It's awesome. But yes, keep an eye out for that if you enjoyed Guild Ball. I know Bing did, definitely. So, let's see if I got that. Okay, cool. Next up, Cal Vanoni has been painting up some old elementals.
Wow.
So, there's that smoke elemental on the right, and I can't remember that.
It looks like an Ifrit, but...
Yeah, you're right. Actually, it is. It is an Ifrit. Looking cool, but I'm loving that sort of shimmering green.
Yeah, he's cool.
Going on the Ifrit. Quite neat.
The other one is terrifying. It looks like a weird chaos demon dream.
Yeah. Yep. It almost looks like the skeleton is like just going, I'm sick of this skin. I'm just gonna peel it off and take it off over my head.
You're like a jumper.
Like a jumper. There you go.
Yep. So nice one. Oops, sorry. What's going on there? Okay, nice one, Cal. Keep him coming. Looking good. Chris Gorka.
Oh, his tones are so crazy.
But yeah, Chris has been painting up this is an Empire Battle Mage for that he's going to be using for Warhammer the Old World.
That's from the old College of Magic box set with the 4 wizards.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is one of the Bright Wizards, but I think
he's so angly.
Yeah. Yep. Very definitely. You mean the pointy bits? There's lots of pointy bits.
Yeah, his hair is super pointy, and his cape's super pointy, and the fire is super pointy.
Yep. I think this was early in plastics technology, perhaps.
Yeah. Yep.
But I love the way that Chris has painted the fire there. It just looks awesome.
I actually like the sword. Is so crisp.
Yeah,
this sword's great.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Matt Ball says a box set that should have been kept around. So good.
I thought it was still available.
No.
Is it not?
No. I don't know when they sort of actually took it off sale, but
I think it was fairly recent. Then it must have been just before Old World, like with Pistoliers, and the Steam Tank. They slowly went, didn't they?
Yep.
You're right, because we've had this box in the store.
Yeah.
I think it was probably shortly before Cities of Sigmar recent launch.
Makes sense.
But yeah, looking good there, Chris. Great work. Cliff Edders has been preparing some more Iron Warriors for his gaming at Adepticon.
Iron Warriors Devastator Squad, not to be messed with.
No, not at all. But so they get +1 strength, right?
Plus what they get +1 strength if they're shooting at anything that is a vehicle, building, fortification, or structure.
Right. Okay.
Which is basically everything except for infantry, which is insane because they get it against walkers and automatons as well.
Yep. These guys are yes.
And in Heresy, you can do a squad of 10 with last cannons.
Okay.
So you're just like, delete that unit.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's
Chris
amazing.
Morgan's wizard again.
Oh, sorry. When I move the cursor as endpoints. So yes. So Cliff Edders, there we go. Nice work, Cliff. Yep. Sorry, just quickly, Dave Hummel says it's still available on the website.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Talking out my butt. There we go. But yes. Anyway, Clive Mills. So Clive Mills is really a viewer of Painting Happy Little Minis. Clive is also in the UK, so it's great that he's joined our community, and we'll be posting some of his cool stuff. But yeah, it does look great, doesn't it? Very nice purple worm.
Yeah, it's giving me June vibes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting super psyched. March 1st.
I can't wait.
March 1st is going to be awesome. Dave Hummel. Dave Hummel has been, speaking of that Terminator filled box from GW, Deathwing Assault. So he's putting up some Deathwing Knights and Belial there. Adding more Space Marines to his collection.
Just what Dave needs. More Space Marines.
More Space Marines. Definitely. Excellent. Jason Dyer is still getting ready for Adepticon as well. So these are some of the super cool Deathcore Krieg Death Riders.
These are easily this I would say second best horses with masks I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep.
They've got the weird hooves as well, haven't they?
Yeah, because they're not really horses. They're like
they're kind of like
they're like almost horses.
They kind of got like camel feet, haven't they? They're a bit weird.
Yep. They are odd. I think the that commissar on the steed in the middle is probably my favorite sort of event only miniature.
Oh, he was event only?
Yeah. Yep. Just for like games days from Forge. So it was all from Forge World, obviously, but he was only available at events.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely cool. And Dave Hummel says, more! I like that, more Space Marines. Jeff Campbell Crawley has posted, which is super cool. Jeff is one of the guys that organizes the Michigan GT in October each year. But he painted these up for a friend.
He did these and the two orange ones. They are so like this photo does not do them justice. They are so vibrant, and he did such a good job getting such a transition into all like the webbing between their fingers and like all like the different scale patterns. Like he did a phenomenal job.
Yep. Yeah, they look awesome there. Very cool. Nice work, Jeff. Lovely. We want to see some more stuff. Jeff Smith. Painted this cool dragon.
Jeff wins.
Jeff wins.
This is incredible. Like all the tones on the red, like all the scales are picked out, all the highlighting on like the fold on the wing. Like this is just great. I mean, and clearly that guy hits the gym all the time. Like you can see all of his abs. Like,
oh yeah. Very much so.
Well, when you're just picking up the hammer alone.
Yeah. Exactly. And yeah, as Brett Abbott says, it's on a tactical rock. I noticed.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yep.
And if the dragon gets tired, he can just carry him home.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely awesome. But no, it looks fantastic. I love the face on that dragon.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's a great character. But yeah, beautiful work, Jeff. Looks awesome. Jeff, when he posted this, so it's basically got some plastic Bretonians, Bretonians out. He said, what year? Oh, set the Wayback Machine for 1977. grabbed out his Grand Tournament 97 tape measure you got from back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. And Jeff, you'll have to let us know, did you take Bretonians to the 97 Grand Tournament?
I think he said he did.
Yeah, I think he might.
They were talking about on Mike and Jeff, and I'm pretty sure he took him to the tournament. And he said in one of the matches he played against another Bretonian player.
Excellent. And yep, there we go. Fantastic. Great to see. So what's that, 27 years later? Awesome.
Wild.
Yeah. Nice work, Jeff. John Steining. So John Steining has, since I think, well, probably over the last 6 months, 5 or 6 months, has been putting together a Bretonian army. And these are printed, 3D printed. So you can get a lot of work going on. But
these are great. That like fuchsia, the fuchsia with the green is like such a cool paint scheme.
Yeah, it's a great combo. I'm loving the unicorn as well.
Yeah,
looking fantastic. But John, over the weekend, took his models into a local store, played a game against a new Tomb King's army.
You got to use the house rule: hatred, gray plastic.
Hatred, gray plastic. Nice. Did not know that. Fantastic. But yeah, he said that he was a little bit surprised at how well the painted models went through the unpainted models. So I think what I heard from that was basically spend a lot of time charging with your Bretonian knights,
which you should do. That's what they're that's what they're good at.
Can you still do the weird formations? Oh, I've just seen there. You can.
Yep. So I don't know. I haven't read the rules for it as to what it can do.
See, I never ran them like that. When I ran them, you could run them in the lance formation, which was 3 across and as many as you wanted.
Yep.
So it was like 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I used to call it like I used to run the Black Knights. So it was like a black locomotive of destruction. It was just a big skinny rectangle that you would just aim at somebody.
I think this one, basically, it's everybody along the sides.
Yeah.
Get to attack. But I'm not 100% sure if that's how it still works. But yeah. But no, thanks for sharing those, John. And I'm glad that you've got your army painted up and having fun with it.
Heavy horse, shake the very ground. That's just awesome. I love seeing Bretonians on the battlefield. This is the best.
Yep. Yeah, great. Then we've got Christian Simonson. These two guys. There's a Solar Auxilia base model on the left, and
I think that's one of the Gene Cyril cultists' bodies on the right with the knee pads.
Right. I think it actually, yeah, you're right. I think
it's a conversion, isn't it? It's
yeah.
The legs are Gene Cyril cultist, and the top's from just a chaos cultist.
He's so good at like that OSL, like his metals are real, but the way he shaded that and edged it, the helmet looks like it's just real brass, and it like caught the light just right.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And the OSL on the plasma coil is really cool. Like it looks hot.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's fantastic. And also, when Christian posted this in the group, he basically posted some of the lyrics from "Run Like Hell."
Yeah, we were both commenting on that.
And when I read that, it just took me back. One of my favorite Floyd songs. But yeah, looking fantastic. And also, Christian posted these guys. So some more of his
they're nice
Sons of Horus.
His sons look so good. Like, again, as a loyalist player, I don't like them, but as a fan of painting, like they look incredible. Again, very very Blanchitsu too.
Yeah, I was just about to say they've got that Blanchitsu vibe, haven't they?
Yeah,
they look like his concept sketches in Visions of Heresy.
I like how he mixed it up too. Like Rhys, like you were talking about, we like to convert stuff. He's got Chaos Marine backpacks on the guy in the middle and the guy on the right. And then the third guy, the guy on the right in the middle, has the Chaos Space Marine helmet with the horns.
Yep.
Yep.
He's thrown everything onto these.
Yeah, these are awesome. And even like the damage he did on some of them, like the guy in the middle on the left, his upper leg.
Yep.
His armor looks all eaten. Like I'm assuming he just used like plastic glue and just let it eat into the model a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, they're so good. I like the way he does his lenses too. He does the red with multiple washes, and then he just does a little pinprick of white in the middle to give him that like that center look. They look so cool.
Yeah. But no, fantastic. I think these guys are some of the coolest we've seen from him for a while.
The OSL on the banner is that's like, it took me a second. I was like, is that an LED? Because it looks like an LED. It's done so well.
Yeah. And it's a great concept as well. Like we'd never see, like you'd see that painted as a metal icon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You never see it as the icon itself is glowing, and so it feels like it's the eye.
It's got Eye of Sauron kind of.
The Dark Lord. Wait a minute, you can't do that. That's a crossover. You can't do that. Yeah, these are his Lord of the Rings models. These are 5 of his 9 ring wraiths.
That's it.
Fantastic.
I also like there's the other thing I like about Christian's work is there's so many little Easter eggs on his stuff. Like we've all painted these. This is just a 32 millimeter based 28 mil Marine. And yet on all of them, he has they have tribal tattoo markings on their armor, and it's all different. Like the guy on the far right has like little suns and stars all over him. The squad leader has like the half a chaos star on his hand. Like they're so good. He did such a great job with these.
Yeah. Yeah, they look fantastic. Great work, Christian.
His bases are cool too. They're super busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Luis posted these. So I think you met him last week, Jake?
Yeah, so he popped into my store I think right before the last show. So it was probably like the end of last weekend. It was probably like last weekend. And I was telling him about it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm getting into painting by hand." Like he's done airbrush work forever, but he's never really painted with, brush and pot of paint kind of thing. And I was like, "Oh, post some of your stuff." And he's like, "I do a lot of Gundams." And I was like, we cover a lot of GW stuff. I'm like, "But we paint everything. Like we have D&D minis and board game minis and whatever." But the tiny Gundam he posted last week on the Facebook page, he painted that by hand.
Well, I've got that next, but
But this Gundam, if I remember correctly, I think that's a real grade. So that thing's it's like the size of an Imperial Knight, basically.
Oh, really? Nice.
But he did all this with like airbrush and decals, and I think Gundam also does like a marker set. So you basically use the marker to like fill in all the seams between the plates. Right. It works like a wash, basically. Like you're drawing in the wash is what you're doing.
Yep.
But yeah, this looks incredible.
It does look fantastic. Beautiful work. And there we go. That's his first brush painted Gundam.
That's crazy.
That's so cool. He's so tiny.
Yeah. Yep.
With his giant feet.
Yeah. Look amazing. I was wondering if this guy folds up into a plane.
Most of the Gundams don't transform. They look like they do. But no, I don't.
Michael Bay could make them transform, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. It would sound like somebody threw a pile of machine parts down the stairs, and then there'd be a bunch of explosions.
Yep. Fantastic. But
the Vallejo mecha colors are super cool.
Yeah. But awesome work.
Yeah, he's really good. Fantastic. I like that guy.
Love to see more of it. Definitely cool. Next up, Matt Bowles.
Yeah.
So
Matt has converted a bunch of flying squigs.
Yeah, awesome.
I love them.
So yeah, I'm loving the color scheme, that sort of blue gray into the orange kind of fleshy color.
Yeah.
So I think that's looking really cool, Matt. I'm loving those little blue sort of turquoise dots along the screen.
Yeah, all the warts are turquoise.
Yep.
I'm sure that Jeff will be a big fan of the fact that he did not use flying bases, so he has like scenic elements. So they're all balanced on scenic elements, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yep. We've got,
Yeah,
cool.
like that's great.
that's another one he's working on. But that's yeah. That,
Are they gargoyle wings?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, look like it. Yeah.
3D gargoyle wings. But yeah,
Nice.
looking good. Excellent. Scott says, "Hey, Jake, you can criticize anything about the Transformers movies except the sounds and the transforming scenes."
Get out of here.
But yeah, no, Matt, these are looking really cool. I know you're having a lot of fun with them. They're looking good. Well done.
I like those guys.
Excellent. Next up, we've got these Space Wolf Scouts from Nathan Sorensen.
Very nice.
Which look great. So there are 3 Space Wolf Scout sergeants in here from 2nd edition. So right around the time, actually, right around the release of 2nd edition, 40K. So there's the guy on the bottom left, or the front left, with the red hair,
and then the two guys next to the Mohawk guys.
Yeah, so the guy with the braids and this power sword raised, and the other one's got the bolt pistol and chainsword there.
I remember them; they were huge as well, weren't they? In terms of metal miniatures, they were huge. Those Space Marine Scout sergeants.
Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, there were a lot of there were metal scouts that came out sort of a little bit later. But then there were Space Wolf metal scouts that they did that unfortunately were lacking shoulders. They had really strange poses. It just felt like the arms were jammed in. And like, okay, if I cut them off here, what do I need to do? I just need to add a shoulder to them to give them the right proportions. But it looks like Nathan's gone through with a lot of the plastic scout pieces. I think those shoulder pads are from Kroot.
Yeah, he's kit bashed these pretty hard.
Yeah, and
like there's a lot of the chaos.
Marauder horseman.
Yeah, Marauder. There's a lot of Marauder bits.
Yeah, but
I do love those. The guy on the far left and the guy on the right, like with the old school Slain, like Necromunda hair, like they all have like the crazy giant like metal mohawks. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. Jeff says, weren't they sculpted by Mike McVeigh? You mean the ones without the shoulders?
Maybe.
I don't think they were. Talking about the metal ones here, I think they were. Something tells me they were Jazz because they still hold up today.
Yeah, they probably were Jazz.
These ones are Jazz. I think he might mean the squad.
Right, the original ones.
I'm
not sure. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But yeah,
Mike McVeigh gave with both hands back in the day. Like guys at my old store when I worked for Warhammer, my first store, guys used to crap all over the Captain Cortez model because he looks like he's wearing power armor that's too small for him. Like the cuff of his boot doesn't come down enough. So he's one of the few Space Marines where you could see almost his entire foot. It just looked really weird. But he was also the only model that had an offhanded metal power fist. So everybody would buy that model, snip off his arm, and then throw Cortez in the trash, and then just use that arm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. But yeah.
I mean, it was, to be fair, I think it was like one of his first models, but like, yeah, again, like the fist was great. His fist was really cool. And like the body was fine, but it was like his ankles and his legs were just weird.
Yeah. But awesome work there, Nathan. These conversions look excellent.
These are super cool.
Moving right along. Ross Vanilla has painted up these crazy grots.
Are they Ghostbusters?
Kind of.
They kind of give you Ghostbusters vibes.
Right.
Yeah. The guy on the right definitely has a vacuum cleaner, and the guy on the left is like, it looks like a guitar with a tube on it.
Yeah. I'm not sure where they're from. I don't know.
No idea.
But they look like they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun to work on. Yeah. Nice one, Ross.
Yeah, they are Ghostbustery.
Yeah.
Scott did such a good job on this.
Yep.
That's incredible.
So I think Scott said that this was a 3D print. they worked on.
Yeah.
A couple of other small, couple other busts from this same sculptor. But yeah, just the emotion that you've and the model has a lot of it sort of already sculpted in there, but I think Scott's painting has sort of accentuated that.
He definitely looks like he's about to get hit with lightning.
Yeah.
And he knows it. And he knows it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm worried about what's going to come out of that speaker grill on his head. But no, it looks fantastic. Just the way that you push that sort of the reddish skin tone into the green there.
Yeah, this goblin drinks.
Yeah. There we go. 3D print bought for a song from Greece. He says the model is everything. Painter didn't do much. I don't believe that, but anyway.
Yeah, I don't buy that either. But
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah,
he's definitely seen some stuff, isn't he? That goblin.
Yeah.
He's...
Scott, now you have to buy the therapist model that goes with this, so he can talk to this goblin on the shelf.
Right. Yep. Excellent. Oh, Josh. Which song from Greece did you sing? Anyway, moving right along. Nice work there, Scott. Okay, and Stephen's been working on doing some repair work on this old hippogriff. So you can see the looks like epoxy sculpt. I think you're using epoxy sculpt there, Stephen, to repair it. So it's always nice. Rhys, Stephen's one of our viewers who does a lot of work on old miniatures, miniatures from the early 80s, typically. Cool. Josh Potter does a lot of work on older miniatures as well. So we always get a nice range of mini ages.
It's nice to see.
Get to see some cool stuff, which is excellent. So yeah, epoxy sculpt. It's got that wonderful warm grey color to it.
I've been trying for years to get my friend to give me his old RTBO1 Marine Army.
Right.
He's still got it. Still got the original Land Raiders and the Rhinos and the Predators.
Oh.
It's all the old metal models.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, excellent.
If you want, we can work something out. I have a zillion of the old metal Terminators. I am happy to move, but
let's talk about that after the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Stephen says that it's a Tom Meyer sculpt.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great one. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that painted up. Cool. And I think the final one we've got for tonight is another unicorn. So again,
is that the Grenadier unicorn?
I think it might be, but I could be confused. I'm not sure. But once again,
that's old school.
Definitely cool. Stephen will let us know in the chat. Is that the last one? Yeah. BuildPaintPlay Swap.
Grenadier.
Yep, Grenadier. Fantastic. Awesome. So there we go. That is the end of the minis from the community. So thank you very much, everybody. They look fantastic. Keep it up. Looking great. I think
we're doing great. We got 30 seconds to wrap it up. We're right on schedule.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, let's do that quickly. Before we say thank you very much to Rhys, I want to say thank you very much to the Army Painter. Yep, there we go. Jake's reminding me by putting at the thing. So, oh, yep, there we go. Some Army Painter paints. Jake, do you have any Army Painter paints handy?
Not within reach. No.
No, you're terrible. Next time.
They're over there, just not within reach.
Awesome. So thank you very much to the Army Painter, who is our season sponsor. As I mentioned, I'll be at the Games and Stuff grand opening event this coming Saturday. I'll try and take some photos and stick them up in the group so you can see some of the paint and take minis that we do with the War Paints Fanatic range, which should be great. Next up, we're going to say next week is our episode 5 of the Tale of 4 Warlords. So we'll have Jeff and John joining us again, and we'll get to look at all of Jake's progress.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be amazing. And I will hopefully have all of my dreadnoughts completed and based. And I'll have you'll get to see some of these guys.
Oh,
Very
Centurions.
nice.
Centurions. But yeah, should be fantastic. We're looking forward to that. The week after that, we've got Patrick Keith from Bombshell Miniatures will be joining us to talk about sculpting and how that's how he has evolved his sculpting from traditional through to digital, and what he thinks about the sort of STL 3D printing market, which would be pretty sweet. So I think that just remains to say thank you very much, Rhys, for staying up way past your regular bedtime.
No, thank you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you to everyone who's commented and pitched questions as well. Yeah, it's been super good. And I'll be at Gamma and Adepticon, so if anyone sees me in this T-shirt, you can please come up and say hi.
Yep, we'll have to work something out so we can hang out, because we'll both be at Adepticon too. Dave and I only see each other at like 2 or 3 shows a year, so Adepticon's definitely one of them.
Yep. And you'll get to, you probably can't tell from us sort of sitting here, but Jake is about 4 feet taller than I am. So you will recognize us.
It's my blood of the first men. That's my blood of Numenor.
Awesome. And thank you everybody for joining us in the chat tonight. Definitely cool. Make sure before you leave, you go and hit that like and leave a comment once the video is posted. It helps us to spread the word. We're up over 400, I think we're 413 subscribers, so we're still working our way up, but we will get there. I think we might talk to Adam about maybe doing a giveaway. We'll build.
I like that.
For getting a certain number of subscribers by a certain point during the year. But absolutely awesome. I think I am almost ready. Yes,
He's ready. He's ready. Again, thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next week. Rhys, thank you so much.
Actually,
thank you, everybody else.
Just before we go, Rhys,
don't
forget to stay on the line.
Oh, yeah, Rhys, great. Rhys, you sit still. We're gonna get everybody else out of here. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week at 7 o'clock as usual. And as always, do not forget to build, paint, play.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.